This video is about why Victor's dentist hates America.
Hello there, morons. It's Victor, King of the Morons, back with a laundry video. It has been a long time. It is good to see you all again. You may notice that I've rearranged the background a little bit. I have quite a few Simpsons characters I thought I should bring into the mix because for some reason I like Simpsons characters. I'm like a Homer Simpsons. Tonight I'm drinking Strong Zero, but this is a new Strong Zero. It's a limited edition. Gukuru Shigeki. Stimulating, I don't know what the hell Gukuru means. Guttokuru? Guttokuru, I don't know what that means. Anyway, it's a limited edition one. It's 9%. It's by Asahi. And it doesn't taste like alcohol at all. I've only had one this evening, so for those of you who assume I'm completely intoxicated because I am holding one can of alcohol in my hand, well, I suppose it's possible. Anyway, today I come with you, as you saw from the introduction, with a brief story regarding my teeth. The other day, I had the bad luck of 2 weeks ago. Well, let me go back and let me bitch about my teeth a little bit. So I used to have great teeth, as in indestructible. Not always straight, because when I was young, my father, when faced with the decision of whether or not to give us braces, he said, "Doesn't matter what a man looks like. You just got to get a good job." So he was sexist. He thought it was important what a woman looked like, but not a man. I believe my sister got braces. My sisters both got braces. I believe. They both have great teeth, regardless. I didn't. My brother just got lucky. I think he had just good teeth. I, however, have the teeth of a wolf. Or a wolverine, or a badger. Or anything with crooked teeth. Or vampire someone kicked in the mouth. But I've been very lucky. I never had a cavity. That is until I was 40. And then one day I went outside to get some, so from the convenience store, from the kombini, I got some, what the hell is it called? Suddenly I make these videos and my vocabulary goes out the hell. Cartilage. Nankotsu, that's it. Nan actually means soft, cartilage. Nankotsu, kotsu I believe is bone, so soft bone. Literally is the meaning. Nankotsu. And for some bizarre reason, when I bit into the nankotsu, I broke a tooth. And it was extremely painful. And I lost a tooth. And I had to have it replaced with eventually a bridge to connect, because they pulled it out. So I got a piece of metal in my mouth, right? The other day, this is going to be quite a mix of, why not? Let's mix it up. This is my Facebook page rant, which I put up but took down because the sound was so bad. And this is my dentist hates Americans rant, or story. Okay. So I put a video, an Instagram picture the other day of myself with Kazuko from Japan, who is a beautiful young lady. And I was hanging out with her tonight again. She's really gorgeous. Kaz, if you're watching this, you are beautiful. And not just because we were talking about conventional beauty and I was teaching her the word unconventional beauty. I would say she's pretty much a conventional beauty, which in a way is Kaz will know what I mean by this, but kind of boring beautiful. I said, you're beautiful, but you look like any other beautiful person. But the more you get to know Kaz, you see that her beauty just grows. Like it's not, the first time you meet her, you might think, oh, she looks like a nice girl, very pretty. But the more you get to know her, the more, she shines. So she's a beautiful girl. Anyway. Don't misinterpret this as meaning anything more than simply what I said. She's simply beautiful. Anyway, and she's a wonderful girl. And I took a picture with her when she got back from her long trip. She was gone for almost 3 months. And some asshole in the comment section said, I put on Facebook says, "Ha, you have crap in your teeth. I can see metal stuff in your teeth, I don't remember the comment exactly, but I was like, really? I said, ha. Thanks for pointing out the obvious. Yes, I have metal in my teeth now. And his response was, "I'm just joking. It was a joke." No, it was a joke. Not, I'm just joking. It was a joke, but it wasn't funny. Pointing out someone's flaws, like going up to someone, "Oh, you're fat," is not a joke. Or, "You have a pimple on your face." That's not a joke. Now making a reference to that, like my mom is so fat that when she sits around the house, she sits around the house. That's a joke. Not a great joke, but that's a joke. Or, is that a pimple on your face, or did you spill pizza? Did you fall on a pizza or something? That's a joke. Right? I just made that up. That sucked. Anyway, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying here? Just pointing out someone has metal in their mouth is not a joke. So I erased their comment. I was annoyed. And I was reminded of a story. Well, there was another unpleasant comment I got on Facebook too the other day that I thought was a bit retarded. I don't remember what it was now, but I also ended up erasing that comment too, because I want, Facebook is not, it's supposed to be just sharing happy things. It's not for me, I don't want to get into, big political debates or fights on Facebook about stupid shit, which I end up doing anyway, because I'm a fucking idiot as well. Oh, I said the F word. Anyway, I'm reminded of a story when I was young and stupider than I am now, which is possible, actually, believe it or not. I was a baseball player, a little league baseball player, and I was on a baseball team, and I was the relief pitcher and the starting center fielder. And I remember my coach had a disagreement with one of those fathers that seems to, those fathers, there's some fathers that are really into their kid playing baseball. He's like, my kid's got to be the best. And he had some fight with the coach because he didn't like the way the coach was coaching. Right? So he had a big fight with the coach, and 2 weeks later, I'm sitting next to the coach, and I asked him, I said, so whatever happened to Ricky, And the coach kind of shrugged it off. I don't even remember his answer, but it was quite obvious he wasn't interested in discussing it. And my father was sitting behind us in the stands when he heard that question. He took me aside after the game and he said, there's no point asking certain questions that are just going to bring up bad feelings, right? There's no need pointing out things that are just going to hurt people, If and I learned this later in life, and this was, of course, this lesson was repeated to me again and again. There's no point telling people things that are just going to make them feel bad. So, for example, if you know that someone, let's say, for example, that I know that, let's say I know that Kaz actually doesn't like, I don't know, who do we pick? Kaz doesn't actually like Tomoko, which of course is ridiculous. So that's a good example because it's ridiculous. Let's say Kaz told me, I don't really like Tomoko. Or the opposite, right? There would be no point in telling Tomoko that information. It would only make her feel bad. So I would never tell her that. Unless I saw, Kaz was actually bitching about her, Now, Hiko Simon's calling me after I got kicked off the show. By the way, I was doing a show, 2.5 Oyajis tonight, with Hiko Simon. And, he couldn't figure out how to set up the three-way. So I dropped out, which is fine. I got so much to do. I spent hours just cleaning up my crappy room. This place looks pretty good now. You can't tell, but believe me, this place looks great. Anyway, that's the point. Don't say shit that's just going to bring up bad feelings. There's no point, So that's what I want to get across to you. Now, continuing that thought, I have a dentist now that put in this bridge and it fell out, and I went back there 6 months later. Which was 2 weeks ago. And he was like, I can't believe that it fell out. It's never happened before. He's like, your jaw muscles must be very strong. You must have put a lot of force on it. And I do have extremely strong jaw muscles. I mean, if it were something that were cool, if men were judged on the jaw muscles, I would be like the king. I mean, I got the bicep, but this is nothing. This doesn't bring in the girls. In an alternative future, jaw muscles are where it's at. I'm sure. I would think. And in that world, I am king, but not just king of the morons, but king of everyone. So, the guy fixed it. He fixed it in one day. So, and he didn't charge me a thing because he felt bad that it fell out. The next day, a filling on the other side fell out, right? Because since then, my teeth have just started deteriorating, right? And actually, I do have cavities now, or I have had cavities since then. So until 40, I was clean, I was pristine, I was beautiful, I was a god. So I went back on last Monday, 2 weeks ago Monday, not this past Monday, but 2 weeks ago Monday. And this dentist was introduced to me by my student. And I mentioned to my student, I said, he talks too much. And she's like, yeah, he does. And what he does is he'll ask me a question, And the funny thing about this dentist is he's like 60 or something. And he's an old guy. And he'll ask me a question. And then, I got my mouth open, and I can't answer, right? So I have to I have sign language, which I of course do not speak. I have to try to get him to understand. And half the time he's like, do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? Can you get mine Japanese? Like, he thinks I'm an idiot. The other, and this is every time, right? And I've only seen him 4 times, right? But the third time I went to see him, which was 2 weeks ago Monday, another patient came in and I was chatting with the patient in Japanese. Normally, nothing, no big deal, no big, oh my God, you speak Japanese? No, nothing, just a normal conversation. And he walks in into the waiting room to get me. And he's like, oh, you speak Japanese? I can't believe you speak Japanese. I've never heard you speak Japanese. I'm like, of course I speak Japanese. I've lived here 24 years. Of course I speak Japanese. It's not a big deal. But of course, he was under the assumption that I just didn't understand anything. So anyway, even after the conversation, he'll say, do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? He's like Jackie Chan. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? So on 2 Mondays ago, I mentioned to my student, jokingly, that he kind of talks a little too much, and he asked me questions, and he doesn't understand that I speak Japanese, which is kind of funny. Now, that's fine in class. In class, I don't expect my students to know that I speak Japanese, because I try not to speak any Japanese in class, because I want them to speak English. And of course, if they find out I speak Japanese, they'll tend to start to speak Japanese to me, and they'll give up, they won't try as hard to speak English. Students try harder when they don't think you understand. So, I had no idea she was going to meet him 2 days later. I met her on a Friday, right? She's about his age too, like 65 or so. And then the next Monday I went back to see him so he could, finish up the job. Because it was a 2-visit job. And this time, he is, as a joke, and maybe this is my fault, I wore my Zen Wakarimasen t-shirt, which in Japanese says, I don't understand anything. So I wore that as a joke. And I figured he would, just laugh it off. But I didn't know that my student told him what I said, right? Which is stupid of me, because Japanese do that. When Japanese want you to know something, they won't tell you directly. They'll tell someone else and it'll get to you. And that's what they expect. They expect that information to get to you third hand. That's kind of their method of communication. And a lot of Westerners are like, oh, that's so fucking, passive aggressive, and I want someone to talk to me directly. Well, yeah, you can want that, but that's not the way things work here, And if anything, it saves conflict and embarrassment. If I told you, you smell, that would embarrass you. But if I told my friend that I thought you smelled and then he told you, then in a way, I guess that would kind of increase embarrassment, because then 2 people would know you smelled. But maybe that's not a good example. But but if I wanted you to know something that might embarrass you if I told you face to face, but might not embarrass you if you heard it from a third person, then you might appreciate this system. So anyway, he got the message, which I didn't mean for him to ever get, but whatever. I didn't really care that much. But the problem is, he starts the conversation with, so recently they're trying to change the constitution in Japan. What do you think of that? I'm like, well, I don't know. I guess it's good. He's like, I don't think they should change it. He said, Japan is a peaceful country now. Yes, during World War II we did lots of bad things. But it was war and everyone did bad things. But you know who I think did the worst things? America. They dropped atomic bombs on people. To be honest, I don't like America. And I'm like, okay, as long as that sentiment is not expressed by the tools that are now held in your hands are in my mouth right now, I don't care who you like. I don't care about your political views. But then he goes on to say that I don't like Korea, and I don't like North Korea, and I don't like China. But I'm not afraid of Korea or North Korea. But China, I don't know what they would do. If they attacked, it would be over. Because I don't think America would have the balls to help us. And I said, no, I think they would help. And he said, no, they wouldn't. So, and I swear to God, maybe it's my imagination, but I felt like he was really putting a little too much pressure on my mouth that day. It'd be a little rougher than usual. But we basically finished the conversation civilly. Most of it was him talking with me going, yeah. with my mouth open. But I thought it was interesting that he would say that to me. And I told Mully Warmoth's chat about this, and he was like, that's completely unprofessional. You shouldn't tell your American patient that you hate America. And I personally didn't care because I'm not, although I'm very grateful to be American, I'm not a super patriot at all. And I can understand disagreeing with the American government and the things that we've done because, let's face it, there are a lot of things to be embarrassed about. But I don't, but I think every government has the same problem. If you think about it, the American government's duty is to help America and fuck the rest of the world. And in that respect, I think they're doing a pretty good job. I think Japan could learn a little bit from them by concentrating on the Japanese people and saying, screw off to everyone else. Anyway, those are my thoughts regarding being nice to people. And it was just interesting to hear a dentist tell me that he didn't like America. Right? And here's a funny thing. He goes to English school. He takes English classes. He's very interested in learning English. He always asks me all these questions every time I come. Which is, I suppose, the only time I've ever felt, a lot of foreigners say, people are always trying to use me for English. I'd say that's probably the only time I guess I've ever had that feeling, but it's easy for me to forgive because he's my dentist and he's kind of, he's helped me out, he's doing something I can't, so I'm appreciative of his work, so I don't mind throwing him a freebie. He's only asking a few questions, not a big deal, so I don't care. That's one thing I wanted to mention. Now, this is not really related to anything, but I did also get in a stupid conversation on Facebook regarding Caitlyn Jenner. And I was very disappointed to hear that Clint Eastwood made fun of Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner. Because I don't, who the fuck cares? So what? So he cut, he doesn't want to have a penis anymore. He wants to have a vagina. Does it really matter? My father, who's a great mortician, studied medicine a bit, and his patients never complain. But apparently the difference between men and women is 1% or less than 1%. I think chimps and even humans are like 1%. So the penis and the vagina are basically identical. Oh yes, I mentioned genitalia in my video, which is my duty. Anyway. So if you really think about it, the difference, the differences are beautiful, and I love the differences. I am a heterosexual. Oh my God, I'm a breeder. But we make it such a big deal, So Bruce Jenner wants to be Caitlyn Jenner now. Who the fuck cares? Seriously. I'm more concerned that he killed somebody in a car accident. That's more troubling to me than his sexual orientation or his genitalia, what they look like. But I will tell you one thing. That's one vagina I have no interest in looking at, I was talking to Molly about this. I was like, if a doctor created a fake, penis, I'd be curious to see what he did, yeah, let me see what you're doing. Cause that's something kind of affects me. But, I suppose, if I ever had a, industrial accident or something, I could probably use that, right? But a fake vagina is nothing I'm never going to use or want to look at. I'm just not interested in looking at a fake vagina. But Bruce or Caitlyn wants one, that's fine. The funny thing is a lot of people giving him shit about this, and the funny thing is he was a decathlon winner. He was a gold medalist. He could kick so many people. Physically, he is superior to, 99.9% of the men in the world when he was a man. Really, think about that. And now everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? Who cares? He was the best man he could be, and now he wants to be a woman. That guy has, if you ask me, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He wants to get, he wants to become a walrus, get that walrus operation I saw. Go ahead, that guy has the right to do anything he wants. He's a bigger man than, a better man than most men could ever be, so. He wants to be a woman? Fine. Who the hell cares? How does that affect anyone? And this guy on Facebook, who I apparently know somehow, I don't know how we became friends. And he runs some kids, like a kindergarten or something, which is really weird too. He's like, this is not right. I'm not going to pretend it's right and it's wrong. We shouldn't we shouldn't celebrate it. We shouldn't call him a hero. I kind of agree with that. Though, the thing about calling someone a hero is that It really depends on how difficult it is for someone. You know, I can eat. I can eat inago. I can confront a criminal. For me, that's not a big deal. I'm not scared. But for other people, it might be scary, so they might be considered heroes. But for me, I wouldn't consider myself a hero for that. I think when you do something difficult, then you're a hero. Something that's difficult for you. So it's really a personal label. I don't think you can judge from the outside. And some people are heroes for surviving. Brad Pitt's wife is a hero because she cut her breast off because she wanted to stop from dying from breast cancer. I don't think she's a hero. I think she's smart. I think she did what was intelligent. She was strong. She was intelligent. You know, hero. She did what was the rational thing to do. And she wanted not to die. That's not being a hero. It's just surviving. You know. I mean, I think what she did was, I think it's good that she shared it. I think that was brave. But actually doing it. The other thing that I'm not impressed with is there are a lot of people who want to be like Bruce Jenner and become women, but they can't afford it. So in that respect, I don't think he's a hero. But I'm not going to put him down. Let him do whatever he wants. I don't know why people get upset about it or affects anyone. So when people start posting all this shit about that, why the fuck do you care? That's my question. I really don't understand. It's not going to affect you unless you were hoping to screw Bruce Jenner and now you can't, because he's got a vagina. If he ruined your plans with it, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's my rant. That's my video, my laundry video for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you got to the end, say something about Strong Zero. It tastes like ginger ale. Do you like ginger ale? Who likes ginger ale? What is ginger ale? What the hell is ginger ale anyway? I don't understand that anyone had ever invented something made out of ginger. That's bizarre to me. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon.